So I've been talking to you the last few weeks about some stuff, and you'll understand. I don't mean to be coy about things, but let me just get into it here. The news has been tough. A tough news week, a tough news month, tough news year. I mean, more and more people are tuning out the news. It's almost 50% now that don't even watch the news anymore, and that's really, really dangerous. But let me start with you. You are here every day for a reason. Maybe it's just, William Shatner told me one time, I just love watching you because it's like an arsonist watching a fire. But generally speaking, the people who watch and support this show, I want you to know how extraordinary you are. You're not just consuming information, you're using that information. You act, you prepare, and you don't just care. This audience sacrifices over and over and over again, and I have all the receipts for it. In the last decade, let me give you some stats on just you. In the last decade alone, you have given over $250 million through Mercury One to help people in crisis. We are now the first in and the last out, almost every time. And the great thing is you don't just write checks. Those checks are not big. They're not coming from corporate sponsors. They're coming from people who send us $20. And you didn't just write checks. You show up. I asked you one time a few years ago if you would just join me in a volunteer event over the weekend. 45,000 people showed up, driving across the states, the country, all over, organizing your churches, bringing your kids, and you took part in what became the single largest volunteer effort ever completed in the United States over a weekend. It was crazy. That's not normal. I want you to know that. You're not part of a normal crowd. It's rare. And it's powerful. When people call you haters or anything else, you're not because you're engaged every day. When I asked you, could we do something to help these Christians that are being deserted and are dying? Do you know that the Nazarene Fund, which we started just a few years ago, because of you have rescued 260,000 people from persecution. Did you know that? I didn't even know that. I saw that number the other day, and I'm like, you got to be kidding me. You funded the largest civilian airlift in history to get Americans and our allies out of Afghanistan. You have completely changed lives. You shaped history. And what amazes me is every day when I meet listeners of this audience, they say the same thing to me. What else can I do? I mean, I just don't know what to do. My answer is always the same. First of all, look at what you've already done. Look at what you've already done. This audience is the reason the news media is no longer the same, because you built a network called The Blaze. Do you realize how far ahead you are of most Americans? Even most people of faith, they're lost. They don't have all of the keys. They don't know what is happening, what's true, what's not. They're not seeing what's coming over the horizon. So you're way ahead. So if you want to do more, all you have to do is just start where you are, I think another thing that is really unique about this audience is you have a feeling, and I think we all do, some just dismiss it. We have a feeling inside of us, and it's not restlessness. It is a pull to something more, something real, something really important. It's not random. And I believe it's a calling. And we all have one. It just depends on who listens to it. With everything that is happening in the world, it's just hard to keep up, let alone keep your chin up. And I know, I am so sick of the bad news. I am so sick of all of this stuff. And I spent my life digging through it, so you don't have to. But we have to know what is happening and what is coming, because we have to be ahead of it. So I've been talking to you a while about something that I'm building, and I want to give you a little bit more information on it today. Next year, just so you know, I'm not walking away from radio or the stories that matter. In fact, I'm going to be doubling down on that. But I have told you now for nearly 2 years that something is shifting inside of me, and I feel like my calling has changed, and I feel like I'm being called to something different. And I've only felt this twice in my life. I felt it after I sobered up, and I just knew. And then I felt it again when I left Fox News. and I just knew. On January 1st of 2026, something new begins, and I have named it the torch. You know, we started the blaze together, and I think it's time now that we take a bit of that fire and light, and we put it on a torch, and we lead our kids out of this darkness into a brighter future. And I wish I could tell you every detail today, but the truth is some things are still being built. Some things are in beta testing. I tried something yesterday that is the first beta test. I tried it, and I was shocked. I mean, I tried to make this thing fail, and it's incredible. You're going to be blown away, I think. And there are some things that I just can't tell you until, later this year. Things are, still in testing, being built, and being negotiated. So, but at its core, the torch is all about education, but not the kind that comes from, textbooks or bureaucracies. It is self-directed. It's self-directed learning rooted in history, in liberty, in faith, in philosophy, the things that built this country, personal responsibility. And it is the kind of education that I think changes lives and civilizations. I've said it so many times before. If we want stronger communities, we have to strengthen ourselves. If we want better kids, then we have to be better parents. If we want the truth to survive, then we have to know it and fight for it and make it ours. And we have to do it intelligently and faithfully. We have to do it every single day. And that's what the torch is going to be. It's a daily connection. It's a movement. It is a mission. It is a place for like-minded people. And one part of it that I'll share with you today is the culmination of almost a decade of over a decade of hard work. It is going to include a new kind of museum, a physical and a digital museum, preserving the story of America in ways that we never thought was possible just 10 years ago. And it will give you and your family the opportunity to learn through original artifacts, original sources, real stories from real people who are doing real things. Right now, I don't know if you know this, we handpick about 100 young adults from over 1,000 plus applicants to spend 2 weeks with us in an immersive learning thing at the American Journey Experience. Now, for the very first time, we have built a way for anyone, anywhere in the world, in any language, to do the same thing. And I have seen this transform young adults, totally transform them. We're also partnering with people of faith and business leaders and educators and innovators, people who know the truth and know how to live it. And we're all coming together in January for not to sell you something, but to empower you. And I want you to know I'm not asking you for anything today. I'm not asking you for any money. I'm not asking you to sign up and download anything. I just want your attention. I want you to stay connected and watch what's coming, because I promise you, this will be worth your time. Now, if you want to be one of the first people to sign on, join the newsletter at glennbeck.com. But only, I suggest that if you are serious about knowing what's coming, being a part of a solution, discovering what your purpose is, wanting to teach your children, lighting a fire that doesn't go out, but that torch that can be passed from generation to generation, sign up now at glennbeck.com, because honestly, I don't want to build new tools or new platforms. What I want is renewal of the human spirit. And that is honestly what the torch is. That is my next mission, and we begin in January. And I hope when the time comes, you'll pick up that torch and carry it with me, because we are entering a brave new world. And for those of us who have courage and see the writing on the handwriting on the wall, it's going to be a very dynamic and exciting times, and the world is going to need people that can lead. Is that you? Join us at glennbeck.com. That's glennbeck.com. Sign up for the free email newsletter, and you'll be the first to know. And we'll have more on that as we go. There's so many aspects of this thing that are just, it's incredible. Today I wanted to tell you a little bit about the history and education, but there's so much more to come, and we'll tell you about it as we go. I'm so excited for this. At the same time, I'm scared out of my mind. But I just know when you try to do the right thing, no matter how hard it is, I shouldn't say that. When you try to do the right thing and then you pray about it. I told you a couple of weeks ago, you have to make the decisions. God just told me about a year and a half ago, it's not right. It's not right. It's got to change. Things are going to change. I didn't know what that meant. And it took me about a year to figure it out. And, I've been working on this for a long time. And then I brought it to him and said, is this right? Because this could be really crazy bad. You always know it's from him when it's like, it could be crazy bad. And he's like, yep, that's me. Go ahead. Go walk off that bridge. But I have real faith, and I know that you're here for a reason. I know that I'm with you, and maybe it's just for me to gain hope from you, because I was going through the stuff that you've done, and I just can't believe it. And wait until you see in January how we are going to turbo all of that. We are going to be a very, very bright light, but it won't happen unless you're with us. So join us, glennbeck.com.